girl. So, I'm not going to premeditate this with this idea of, like, being, like, the audacity of men, because I'm just going to present the situation, okay? So, this guy, chatted to, went on a date with him, like, a little while back. We've been texting back and forth since then, and it's been all right. It's like the chats that we have are good, like when we're having them and stuff, and I've been wanting to like meet up for another chance, and we've tried sketching and that's fizzled out and da-da-da-da. And he does just like go long periods of time without messaging me. And that's fine. Like, it's like, is it fine for me? No, actually, the moral of the story here is that's just not like fine for me anymore. And that's not in a sense of like anger or upset towards these people. Like, it's just I prefer someone who's more communicative. And I'm being left on delivered for like weeks at a time is just not enough for me anymore. Because I think I need to just like raise my standards and understand that I want to be treated a certain way. So this guy, I sent him a message a minute ago. Mind you, it was around like 9:50, 9:59 when I sent this message. So I was rolling the dice for sure with like timing of it, but we've had conversations as late as this before. And so I was like, it's not that crazy. It's like not out of character for us to talk at this time. And then I was like, also, why am I like, I just want to say it. And why am I adjusting for what I want to say to this person just to fit their schedule? When in reality, like, I'm the one they're kind of low-key ghosting here. And my thing about ghosting now is that I don't like allowing myself to be taken advantage of anymore with this kind of thing. And with the decisions I make here, it's just all in the interest of hopefully just making a difference in my life and how I allow people to treat me. And with any luck, just having this other person understand that they have hurt my feelings, or they've like that just they know that I've been affected by their absence in a certain sense. And chances are they probably don't care. They probably don't give a shit, because otherwise they wouldn't ghost you in the first place. This guy, so we were talking about hanging out last week. He said, sent me this big thing about like, oh, I'm so sorry, like this, that, the other thing. Can we hang out these coming days instead? I sent him a message to be like, yeah, just tell me when you're free. And then I was like, yeah, just tell me when you're free. Like, what days would work for you? I think I said. And then it's like a week and a half later and he still hasn't responded. And at this point, I'm just like, it's been multiple times of this happening and I'm just a little over it. So I sent him a message a little bit ago just being like, hey, just to be upfront and honest, I do prefer more communication than this. And do you feel like that's something that you can offer at the minute? Because I do enjoy hanging out with you. So I just wanted to know where you're at. And he left me on red. So, listen, I knew that with putting something like this out there, listen, it was 10 minutes ago, so maybe he's planning some big preemptive response. I'm just going to go with that's not what's happening. I think he's just, like, given up. And that's cool. It's a bummer, but, at least I said my piece, and I knew that I was whatever I got out of this, it was going to be a clear response. He's either was going to leave me undelivered, that's a clear response. Leave me on red, that's a clearer response. He was going to say, I can't, which is a clear response, or he was going to say, let's start fresh. Anything like that. And I've got my response now. And, my goal in sending these messages to people, like, just kind of, for lack of a better word, confronting them about it, I do kind of hope that they get a little uncomfortable. I do hope that they get, like, they feel a little bad. Because I'm sick of, like, normalizing this idea in online dating culture that it's okay to just ghost people. And let it be known, I think there are occasions where it's not as egregious. I think that if you've just been texting online and whatever, and it's relatively substanceless, like, I think a silent withdrawal isn't the worst thing in the world, like, if it doesn't really just seem like it's going anywhere. But this guy and we met up, had a really fun time. It seemed he was interested in me. We continued to have very long conversations over text after the fact. We, were quite intimate with each other. And I think at that point where you've reached that point of like kind of going to third base with somebody, I think you should probably just let them know. It doesn't have to be like, I'm not owed like fucking call me Ishmael, but I am, I think, entitled to just like, hey, it was really fun getting to know you, but not for me. It's a very common courtesy thing. It's a common courtesy and respect thing. And I didn't start learning to do this until I had a guy send a message to me like this. And it put into perspective for me. I was like, oh, fuck. I have been so long subject to the usual like Irish goodbye type standard of the online dating world that I forgot that can have a real impact on somebody and that can hurt someone. And I should know this because people have done it to me repetitiously. So I'm just at a point where I'm beyond accepting it now. I'm above taking in the high road and just letting them do it because I'm like, I want them to know that it's not okay to treat me like this. Or at least you can't treat me like this, I'm not going to have something to say about it. And also, like, so you know that it can potentially hurt someone, so hopefully you don't do it to somebody else down the track. But most of the time it gets no response. And I'm so at peace with that because at least I just get to have my closure of just saying my piece. You know? But he left me on red. It is what it is. That's his response. And I've said my piece. And he said his piece by saying nothing. And it is hurtful. It shows me the kind of person that he is. Because to me, that kind of just shows him to be a bit of a coward. Maybe he's afraid of me. I don't know. Maybe he thinks I'm a fucking psycho killer. So it is what it is. But, you know, if my honesty scares him so severely that I think that is a clear indication of that maybe we're not right for each other. So, yeah. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't bummed, but at least now, this is the last guy that I had met up from Grindr, from Grindr. So, he was my last connection to the online dating world. And now that he's gone, I guess I officially have a fresh start now. I think I always liked the idea of having something that it felt like I was nurturing. Because it makes you feel like less like absolute in the idea of loneliness. But, you know, now we're just delving into an uncharted area of the map. So, I'm going to try and enjoy that the best I can, but I'm sure it will get incredibly lonely at times. But I'm proud of myself for sticking up for myself, or at the very least being honest. And for this man at his big age, just to not just be able to be upfront is telling. So, that is that. Moral of the story for anybody who's watching, it really doesn't require a lot to let someone know that you've like, at least like, kind of gone a little bit further with as far as like just texting on the apps. It doesn't take a lot of energy just to let that person know that you're going to politely decline. Because this is a privilege we're so often afforded to. It's a privilege we're afforded to just ghost people with the online dating world, and I just think it indulges in an unhealthy idea about communication and honesty. You know? But I only just started feeling this way kind of recently. Or at least only became aware of how profoundly it can hurt people. So, if there's someone that you had sex with, if there's someone you went out, like, recently had sex with, and you took them out, and you wined and dined them, and you had a good time, and things like that, and you don't really feel like it's for you, maybe just do that person the courtesy of telling them that. Because you don't know how invested they are, and you don't know their experience with going on dates like that. Maybe they've never done that before. And you could be setting the standard for that person that is all they are ever to expect, or silence is all that they're worthy of. You know? Because that happened to me. So, and if you're the person that has been ghosted and things like that, I mean, see, don't take it personally. And if it's been long enough, don't worry about it. But if it's happening, like, right now, they're just, like, distancing themselves, call it out. You don't owe these people anything. You don't owe these people niceties because they're not affording you any. So just be real. And yeah, maybe they won't respond and that'll be a perfectly clear message, but maybe, maybe that honesty is what is required to kick something into high gear. Let's just stop avoiding ourselves. Let's stop avoiding ourselves. Okay? It bothers you, just say something about it. Okay. Bye. Yo, we are having a very beautiful, positive mindset moment today. So I think I can't remember if I did a vlog about this or I imagined it, which I could have, but I think maybe in the last thing I was talking about, the last clip, maybe I was talking about a guy that I sent him a message where I was upfront about the idea of wanting like more communication than what we were having. And then I said he left me on red. He did not end up leaving me on red. He ended up responding, being like, thank you for telling me, I appreciate the honesty, which is nice. A lot of time when you do that, they do leave you on red or they do block you, so that was a good step. And then we sorted out to go get a drink together, just to discuss, I think it was like partly to see each other again and talk and have a good time, but I think we also wanted to discuss like what I'd talked about with wanting more communication. And it ended up, so we went to Lil's rooftop bar or whatever in the city of Perth. And we just talked, like we talked and had a good time. We bantered, we did our little back and forth and it was cute, but eventually we did get onto the topic of it. And what it just came down to was him just being like, I'm not the kind of person who can give myself to someone in any higher form of communication than we already are at, which is leaving me on red for like, so you leave me on delivered for like weeks at a time. And he was upfront about that. He was like, I can't do anything exclusive. I can't do anything when I'm dedicated or have consistent communication with somebody in like a romantic sense or anything like that. He was like, I have a lot of people in my life already that I'm trying to pay attention to. I have like my career, I'm traveling a lot, I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. Then listen. And that's, that's the way he feels and that's totally fine. But where I'm really proud of myself is I was just like, yeah, that's so, like, I love that for you, that you have, like, a good career. I love that you have so many friends. I love that you have all those things. It's just, like, the way that I am and the things that I know that I need from somebody, not just from a romantic partner or just, like, someone that I'm sleeping with or just any sort of relationship that I have in my life. Communication is key for me. Or at least the conversation that we had. It's, like, it's important for me to know with someone that I've slept with, where we stand, if I'm like, because when I text someone that I've slept with, it's, there's sometimes a dilemma in my mind of like, when they're not, they're not good at responding, they leave me on delivered for like weeks and stuff. I'm like, are they just waiting for me to go away or are they genuinely just a bad texter? And that's why the conversation we had tonight was good. Because what I learned is that he just is the kind of person, like one of my other friends, that just cares about you when they're in front of you, and then afterwards you kind of cease to exist to them. And I said, I love that for you. I just can't get into a situation like that again, and it's not for me. So I'm gonna have to withdraw from the situation. If you ever want to text me and chat or like hang out or anything like that in future, I'm gonna leave that in your court. But I'm not gonna be the one texting from now on, because I feel like if I text you, I'm just gonna be like, something in my mind is gonna be waiting for a response. And that's just not good for me, for where I'm at right now in my life. So he was like, I totally understand where you're coming from that. He's like, I'm really busy at the moment as well, so I just feel like I'm going to have to probably withdraw as well. So we had a very just adult conversation about how we're probably going to stop texting each other, or we're probably not going to speak again. And it really did not take that. It felt so good and just felt so mature to have that conversation. Like, we'd only met up once, like, before this, mind you. It's like, but, we did, like, get quite intimate with each other. So, past that point, I'm just like, it's best to just let someone know if you're not interested. So I was just like, and like I said, I'm kind of over just letting guys ghost me without me having anything to say about it. I'm not going to, like, force them to then respond to me, but I am going to send them a message just being like, hey, what's tea? or like this is not cool, or da-da-da, because I want them to kind of feel bad, low-key. But I'm glad that I had this conversation with him. And now, yeah, you know, I'm a little disappointed that I'm not going to get to see him again, because I do like him, but at the same time, though, like, this is my last tie to the online dating world, so now I'm completely without reservations in that regard. Which can be scary, because I've always liked the idea of feel like I'm having like a relationship in that way, that I'm nurturing, whether it's casual or not, just so that romantic or intimate outlet. But, you know, it's an uncharted area of the map, and we're exploring it. Yeah, so now I'm without the online dating tether anymore. Then, I get to know that I like stuck up for myself, and I just knew, like, I just like put into action what I wanted. And when it wasn't enough for me, I just was like, you know what? Peace out. This isn't enough. Like, I need to like start doing what's best for me in this situation. I need to like start preserving myself. And then, yeah, just like we got to have a good conversation about it. Then like, and we now have left this on very friendly terms. And I don't have to feel like somebody's like, I hurt someone's feelings, or he doesn't have to feel like he hurt my feelings or anything. We just got to have a conversation about it and be adults. I feel so much better about it now. Yeah, I'm going to be disappointed because I liked him, but now I get to experience just being alone properly, which is great. And yeah, we'll see what happens, but either or. This chapter has closed on a very nice note. So I'm really happy for that. And I'm really happy for me that I was able to just like stand 10 toes down with somebody and tell them what the tea was. Proud of myself, but bye-bye.